there, I'm Jeanette Lane, a craft designer at CraftStash, and in today's video I wanted to talk about Nuvo Drops. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Nuvo Drops, but they are an amazing product that I think you're really gonna like and enjoy, and I know that you're gonna want to incorporate it into your paper crafts. So in case you're not familiar with Nuvo Drops, I'm going to be sharing how to use them, a few things that you could do with them. They're really fun, guys, so I'm really excited about this video. Let's jump right in. Nuvo Drops are a great way to add dimension to your projects and just some really fun details with an enamel finish and also a glitter finish, because there are glitter drops which work in the same way as the Nuvo crystal drops, but they just have a glittery finish versus an enamel kind of plastic finish. And if you're familiar with enamel dots, it's sort of the same effect except a lot more affordable. So if you ever used enamel dots for your paper projects, you know that you get a set of enamel dots and that's all you get, and once you run out you got to buy some more. But with the Nuvo Drops, you have so much to work with and to create different dots of various sizes. And what's great is that this liquid, it self-levels, so what you end up with is a nice dome finish, and it resembles the enamel dots when they're dry. So I'm going to show you a few ways that you can use these drops. And again, there are different types of Nuvo Drops. So there's the glitter drops, the crystal drops, and there's also some jewel drops, which I do not have with me, but it's the same kind of effect that you get each time. So what you're going to want to do is, let me set this aside. So this is just my dry dots there. You can kind of see that they're raised and perfectly domed. I don't know how they do it, but it's magic and I love it. It's a great way to add some little embellishments and just some enamel detail to your projects. So here is my here's my white piece of cardstock, and I'm going to grab this Nuvo crystal drop, and that's in the color, what color is this? Caribbean Ocean. That's nice. So when you start off, you kind of want to tap it a little bit and make sure that there's no air bubbles. And you also want to use a scratch piece of paper just to make sure you are getting a proper flow in your bottle. So as I squeeze this one, it kind of spit a little bit. I just want to make sure that I'm getting a good flow before I commit to my actual cardstock that I'm going to use for my card. So what you want to do is definitely do not put the nozzle on the cardstock directly on it. You want to just stay right above the cardstock, and then you want to squeeze and lift straight up. So I'm going to squeeze. It's going to start flowing. There we go. And then when I am happy with the size of my dot, I just lift straight up. Now, if I turn my paper to the side, you'll kind of see that it's not a dome, but what happens as it dries, it just levels off. And you can do various sizes, so it just depends how much liquid you are squeezing out. So if you want a bigger dot, draw more attention to your card, then all you would do is just squeeze out more, and again, it's going to level off as soon as it dries. Now let me show you some of the glitter drops, which is the same thing. Want to tap it, get out any air bubbles, and also squeeze out just a few dots on a scrap piece of paper to make sure your flow is good, that it's not going to squirt too much, because sometimes that happens. So you just want to try it out on a scrap piece of paper before you commit to the cardstock that you're going to be using. And again, I am just squeezing out a little bit and lifting that straight up, and it's going to level off as soon as it dries. And it does take a while to dry. I want to say you want to give it 2 hours just so that it sets. And you want to make sure to keep your project out of the way, out of your own way, because there are so many times where I've accidentally smudged it trying to grab something, or I dropped something on it, and it's just no fun, because then you have to start the process all over. Now, if you want to create a stash of enamel dots for you to use, so in case you don't want to use the drops directly on your cardstock that you're working with, you just want to build up a stash of them like I have here, what you would do is squeeze your drops onto a craft mat and just make sure you're not anywhere around it where it's going to smudge or smear, and just wait for it to dry, and then you can just pick them off of the craft mat and start your stash of Nuvo Drop enamel dots. Or what I did is I took a piece of this plastic, which is from a stencil that I had, and so what I did is I used the plastic and just squeezed some drops on there, and then once those are dry, they just pop off and you can start building your stash. And to do that, again, so it's the same thing, make sure your flow is good, it's a little bit interrupted there, and then you just squeeze out your dots of whatever size you like, whether it's little dots or big dots, and you just wait for them to dry, and then these pop off and you can add them and build your stash of enamel dots, affordable enamel dots that you can add to all your paper crafts. Now you could also do different designs and effects, so you don't just need to do circle dots, you can also do a heart. So let me show you how to do that. That's just a fun detail to add to your card. And so what you do is you squeeze 2 dots of equal amounts, so equal sizes. You want to make sure that they're both the same, about the same size, same liquid amount, and you want to keep them kind of close to each other. And then what you do is grab a pin, or I'm using my pokey tool, and we're just going to drag that liquid down on both sides. And then that creates a heart. And you can do hearts of different sizes. So let me do one that's a little bit smaller. So we've got this color. Make sure my flow is good. All right, we're good on that front. And we're going to do 2 small dots next to each other, because we're just going to create a little heart. And these are, again, both roughly the same size. And then we just drag down the liquid on both sides, they meet in the center and create a quick heart. So here's some that I made beforehand. Very easy, just another alternative in case you were, kind of getting tired of the dots. You can add some hearts to your card. So that'll be really fun. And you can also create some eyeballs. This is such a great trick. Oh my gosh, I was so excited when I saw that you could do this, because it just makes it so easy to build a stash of these and have them ready for like Halloween time, or if you have some cards or like stamps with characters on them, then you can add some kind of like googly eyes. And so what you do is you grab some white Nuvo Drops. Actually, this isn't white, just kidding. This is oyster gray, but it works just as well. And what you do is squeeze a little bit of liquid out to have the whites of your eyes, and then we are grabbing the ebony black, making sure this one doesn't spit out just like that, checking my flow there, and then we add just a little dot on top of that, and when this all dries, it levels out and leaves a really nice eyeball shape. That's so fun, like what a great idea. Another thing that you could do is create a nice chevron, almost kind of braided look, which would be fun to add to a card, just to have a little, like just a fun accent, and your friends are gonna be wondering, how did you do that? That's amazing. So what you do is just squeeze some white, or any color, you just need 2 colors for this, whatever color you would like. Maybe we can do 3 colors. And then you do an alternate color, and you add that right next to the white. Let's do a few colors. I think that'll be fun, actually. And so just squeezing that here, and then let's do the pink. That'll be fun. Checking my flow. That sounds like yoga for some reason. So you could leave it as is, just like that, and create a nice border with different colors, like a color pattern, fun color pattern. And so what I'm gonna do instead to create this like braided chevron kind of look is I'm just gonna take my little pick and I'm going to start dragging that color just down the center. And it all mixes together and it makes a really fun, almost braided chevron look. And if you look up close at this, you can see all the colors there kind of merged together and created a beautiful chevron pattern. It almost looks braided. And this would be really fun, just a fun detail to make maybe a border around a image of a unicorn, like a unicorn stamp, which I think would be really fun because it kind of looks like a unicorn tail. There is so much that you can do with these drops. You can create some really cool designs and effects. You can build a stash of enamel dots that are affordable, and also you can do some fun shapes, some eyeballs. So many things that you can do with these Nuvo drops. I'm really loving them and they are great to add to your CraftStash. I really think that you're gonna enjoy them if you've never tried them before. I hope that this video inspired you to try out some Nuvo drops for yourself. Everything that I used, all these colors are available at the CraftStash website, which is craftstash.co.uk, where you'll find heaps and heaps of inspiration and how-tos. I'm Jeanette Lane and I will see you all next time. Bye.